Gamma-Erstrahle!
Demon, goldene Armor-Digitation zu...
Magnamon, goldener Schein des Wunders.
Hi folks, this is Mega881000 and I welcome you to another review, and as you can imagine from the last unboxing video, this is the detailed review of this incredibly great DG-Mazing Magnamon figure. I think this is one of the most anticipated reviews you have been waiting for since a long time for now. Or don't you? And I am personally very happy that I can show you the Magnamon figure now. And finally he is here. And yeah, it has been a long time, but how I said, finally he has arrived. But as always, and before starting with the review, there are some general character bio about Magnamon. Magnamon is a Holy Knight Digimon on armor level who evolved through the power of the Digimantle of Miracles, or for us, the Digi-Armor Egg of Miracles. The Digimantle of Miracles has the attribute Metal and consists of the Super Metal Chrome Digizoid. Magnamon not only has enormous defensive abilities, but also an offensive power that corresponds to that of an Ultimate Digimon or even higher, or for us corresponds to a Mega level Digimon or even higher. Magnamon is also a member of the Royal Knights. Those who acquire the power of the Digimantle of Miracles are able to overcome any predicament they fall into through that miraculous power, and as such it is appropriately referred to as a miracle object or item. By the way, Gold Digizoid gives the Digimon great defensive strength while being surprisingly lightweighted. And this is truly a fun fact because this matches to the Magnamon figure here, because as I said it already in the unboxing video part, this figure is really lightweighted. Tough through this gold plated look, it doesn't seem to be rather heavy. Or it seems to be rather heavy, excuse me. Magnamon's special techniques are to fire one or more shots of ball-shaped plasma, or fires a swarm of missiles from his armor called Plasma Shoot. Yeah, this is alternatively, he can shot the plasma shaped, the ball shaped plasma or the missiles. But Magnamon's first and most powerful attack technique is arguably the technique Extreme Jihad. With this technique, Magnamon emits the utmost power of the Digimantle in the form of an energy wave from his entire body. And before there is any misunderstanding, Jihad is actually just an Arabic word that literally means striving or fighting, especially with a praiseworthy aim. That's why I think that's actually quite matching for Magnamon. Of course, it can also be seen in a very negative Islamic context where terrorist groups misuse this term for their own purposes, about which I don't want to go into more detail here, but it actually just means striving and fighting as it is the same in other languages. The Japanese also used German terms in the original for many attack techniques and other stuff for Digimon, as well as they use terms from other languages for attack names and so on. For Magnamon they simply chose something Arabic for their original version because they just felt like it. But enough about that. In addition, Magnamon can rapidly compress space, then immediately and explosively expands it and sweep away the surrounding enemies with a golden laser beam, known as Shining Gold Solar Storm. Furthermore, Magnamon can envelop himself in a barrier of light to repel enemies. This technique is called Light Aura Barrier. In addition, Magnamon can shine burning rays of light from his armor, which is known as Miracle Glitter. Magnamon can also use Magnum Punch and Magnum Kick by punching or kicking enemies. And of course, Magnamon was the strongest armor level evolution of Davies' Digimon partner Vmon in Adventure 02. First, let's take a quick look at the box. Yeah, and just a quick look, again, a closer quick look up on the box. As you can see, the box is just black, nothing special. Here we have the design studio's name, DG-Mazing. They printed the symbol of Digimon Adventure 02, the emblem of the season, and the name in our language or in our style, as you can see, Magnamon, and again in Japanese, I think. Yeah, not much impressive about the box, so we get a nice figure back here. Again, Magnamon is not an official Bandai Tamashii SH Figure Arts figure, but was made by the Chinese design studio named DG-Mazing. Incidentally, this is the same design studio that created this figure arts like figure of Susanomon some time ago, which I have already shown you here as well. And back then I didn't notice exactly what DG-Mazing is. Is it a kind of third party company? And I even wrongly called Susanomon a kind of custom figure back then, and I also always named it wrong and called it instead of DG-Mazing, DG-Amazing. Yeah, but yeah, I think you know why I read this wrong. But now I know more about it, and I would like to correct these mistakes here for Susanomon's video as well. So again, it's called DG-Mazing. It's a Chinese design studio and not a third-party company. And this DG-Mazing Susanomon was and is not a custom figure. I wanted to mention that here, and now we really start with the review of Magnamon. I bought this Magnamon figure as a pre-order from the Cosma eBay shop on the 17th December 2019. Planned release was either March, April, May 2020. Quite a long time now, so I don't know this anymore exactly. But for the detailed information I made a short video in advance because at some point I had announced the Magnamon figure as the next review, and with the video I just wanted to justify why this announced review doesn't came. In any case, the release was delayed until it was actually finished in April 2021. Now this year, and the design studio finally was able to finish the Magnamon figure. Once again, I would like to praise the trustworthiness of the Cosmile Time eBay shop, because in the end they got it and didn't lie to me over this such long time. I actually began to question the shop's trustworthiness in this preview video and judged it in the sense like, let's see what's going to happen and then talk and judge about this topic in the main video again. So I did this now with that, and I also would like to emphasize again that for those delays, the Cosmile Time shop members themselves are doesn't to blame, and that this design studio needed so long for the production and completion of that figure. And in this sense, I would judge the Cosmile Time eBay shop members as 100% trustworthy. I also was in constant contact with them about the situation, you can imagine. By the way, I have linked all important things in the video description down below. Another positive aspect despite the long waiting time in general was that the Chinese eBay shop managed to send Magnamon from China to Germany to my door within 10 days without charging additional shipping costs again, which is a really fast shipping. They even chosen a faster shipping service than usual, probably also to make up for the whole waiting time. I also found that really nice from them. It should also be noted that in the end there were even 2 different gold color versions from DG-Mazing for the Magnamon. I first decided for the plated gold color version, but there is also a normal gold metallic color version for the same price. That surprised me anyway, because when I pre-ordered there was only a gold version and an additional dark purple version of the figure to choose as pre-order. This just mentioned additional dark purple version is of course also available. That could also be another reason why the completion took so long, because the DG-Mazing design studio released a total of 3 different color versions at the same time. On the dark purple version, the skin color is also a much darker blue plastic than on the normal Magnamon here. But was this long wait even worth it? What do you think? What do you think? I think, guys, yes, and that in every way. And we are going to take a closer look at this figure together, because just look at DG-Mazing Magnamon, just how he's standing here. Doesn't look he impressive, or what do you think? Additional, an extreme and unexpected improvement in compared to the first figure of Susannomon also went into their Magnamon figure. And if you have not seen the whole assessment of the Susannomon figure back then, do not worry, I will go into each one of their improvements they done on their Magnamon here and compare this with the Susannomon figure as well. As you can see on the box, they printed the original name. Even tough, I think the design studio doesn't have the rights doing this. I think that with regard to Bandai, and since they shut down the third-party company Tungmung EX, this is not such a good idea to use the original license names, but probably these design studios love playing with fire. I don't know. How I said, this is no Bandai figure arts, but it comes very close to one in general, but it is actually DG-Mazing's take on on such a SH Figure Arts Magnamon figure, or how one could look from them. First, I want to speak about the size. It's about almost 6 inches, which would be about a bit over 15 centimeters, measured from the ground to the highest section, which would be the spike of his helmet. So he is smaller than Susannomon, but fits Magnamon well. I think that size fits him well. I think an original Figure Arts Magnamon would have been about that size too. And at first we speak a bit about how the modeling and the accuracy of the details is and such stuff. Yeah, and for that I of course show you the figure a bit in a close-up. For the first time. Yeah. How I said, modeling of the parts, if the accuracy of the details are right to Bandai's original character design, and if all details are there. About that I want to speak now. Well, and what I can say, the modeling, accuracy and proportions are really good. I already highly praised DG-Mazing's works on the Susannomon back then for being a non-Bandai product but made by a design studio, and I think you can see this as well on Magnamon here. Everything is nicely sharp molded and proportioned. I think he comes very close to such a figure arts figure in view of all the proportions of the different body armor parts. Magnamon rear skin parts also has a nice detailed molding and looking very natural. Or what do you think? Especially on the arms and yeah, also the hands and the thighs. Think that's nice. Yeah, and how I said, looking very natural, those real skin parts, and this is new here because Susannomon don't has this. Because of the different character designs, Susannomon only wears a kinda suit underneath and everything else is covered in armor. So I think the modeling and molded details and accuracy of all those parts on him are true to Bandai's original character design. Tough, it hasn't nothing to do with Bandai at all, but I mean, for sure, you can see what Bandai character the figure should represent. DG-Mazing done a great job on him and implemented the Magnamon perfectly. And because there never was and isn't original figure of Magnamon in this form existing, it is also the best one we have ever seen so far. There is no doubt about this, that this is the best Magnamon when it comes to collector styled figures and wishes. It is a beautiful figure, and how I said already, it comes very close to such a figure arts figure. So I would say that they fully deserve to use the original license name of Magnamon. For their figure, even if they don't have the rights to use it. There are also all details present on him which Magnamon should has. They even considered to give him all the details for the lower sections on his shoulder armor parts or on the wings or how you ever would call this, and I really want to show this more to you. I mean those sections here, very nice, molded and picked out in this silver gray color. Also on his side skirt armor we have the same moldings. Everything very nicely done. Also on these sections, which is great. How I said, they done a pretty good job on him when it comes to the present details Magnamon should have. There's nothing missing. And yeah, those details got replicated very well and like you would wish them to be. The proportions are good of those different parts. I think he's nothing to sneeze at. The only thing which isn't this good and which you could complain proportion wise is that I think his tail is too long, too big and also a bit too thin for representing Magnamon's original character design for the tail right. I think there they overdone a bit. Yeah. This, I think... Yeah. Otherwise, the other details are very good. And proportions, but the tail... Yeah. And I also want to show you this in compare to the original Bandai Imaginations Imperial Dramon fighter mode, where you can clearly see that the Imperial Dramon is a rather or a much bigger character and figure and has a different body build. The size of the tails of both are nearly the same. I even think it is the same mold from the original which they used for the Magnamon tail, and yeah, I think it's the same mold. It is a bit more curved, but from the size and the proportion and the length, the thickness, it's the same like they did on the original, and this is because Imperial Dramon is a much bigger character, so for Magnamon they should have done a bit more subtle tail. Yeah. Out of that, the big tail proportions are outstanding. Like I said, he's nothing to sneeze at and he isn't true eye-catcher. You can see which of Bandai's character design he should represent and every detail is there, like I said before. And I show you again in close-up now, because I think the impressions the figure gives you, or me, speaking for itself. I think there is nothing to add about, because look at it. Look at this nice Magnamon figure. This is very, very awesome done. The overall image is very nice. I think you know what I mean. Yeah. How I said, they done a pretty good job on him. Also, what I like very much are that those silver details on the feet here, or those silver details on the feet, are that they molded like this. This is just awesome. I show you. And I mean those details. That they molded them so free from the other surrounding details is very, very nice that they done this like that. That's truly awesome. It's a little detail, but this I like extremely, so to speak. We also have some differences in the color with other integrated colored parts on his chest to highlight those sections even more. And I will show you this again. I think I have to dim the light a bit, that you can see this better. I mean those sections on the chest. There we have some of this silver plastic integrated here to get another color accent for those details for the chest. And you also can slightly the same on this armor detail here. You can see right through, and there's also such a silver piece shimmering through. I don't know if they done it here on purpose, but on the chest they done it on purpose to get some, to highlight those details better, and yeah, to get another color accent. Yeah. How I said, on those little sections here on his shoulder armor, I don't know if they done it on purpose or if it just through the weight they assembled those parts. Maybe they just let it open to use it as a clip socket for those lower silver details. This I don't know, but gives the overall only plated gold armor parts different color accents. Yeah. And I think on the chest they done it on purpose, because on the chest armor, I mean, they done it on purpose because there are no such of those gray details around, then only those integrated details there. Yeah, and I think maybe they used this as a clip, like I said, for clipping in those lower details here with the turbines or the thrusters or what that ever should be called on Magnamon. I think that are thrusters, because I think those shoulder armor also can be seen as wings, because Magnamon could also fly. I think he flew in the anime. Also those for Magnamon typical 2 spikes on his back, they took into account, as you can see, very nicely. Let's speak about the coloring and color style. Like I said, DG-Mazing also made another gold metallic version of this figure, where the armor parts are just have such a rather normal metallic gold paint job, like we know this from the original figure arts Digimon, which have such a colored armor. Here, this is the plated gold version, as you can guess, I think. This is very obvious, which looks just outstanding, beautiful, awesome. Well, I think they nailed the look for Magnamon doing it this way and making this gold plated color version. Because I think that matches Magnamon very well, and I think you would imagine him, or this is like you would imagine him after he emerges and rises from the golden blinding rays of light right after the evolution, and also emits golden rays and reflects the light of this so well in a really outstanding way. And that is why I decided for this version on purpose at first. Maybe I will buy the other two color versions as well. At that time I shot a video, I didn't bought them, but when you see this video yet, I maybe also bought them already. Because actually my videos are not this up to date and a quite longer time passed from making them until you can see them in my channel. I have to admit this. And if I bought the two other versions, I also will of course make reviews about them. And also, despite this absolutely cool looking plated gold armor parts, the rest is very well done as well, paint job wise. For example, we have those nice engraved details all over his gold plated armor, which they also considered, which fact is all alone very awesome. But all of those engravings are highlighted with those black colored lines everywhere. Maybe I have to dim the light again a bit, that you can see this better. I mean, all those engraved details are picked out with this black line. I think this is very nice done. We have those black lines here. On those details, also this little spiky thing is surrounded with such a black line. I think it looks like that. We have those details or those black lines on the forearm armor. I think even the crest symbol of miracles is surrounded with such a black lining. And of course we have it on the backside sections again. Also those details are all picked out with such a black lining. Even on the little sections here on the helmet and on the helmet, also on the front here, everywhere. On the feet, yeah, I said, I think it cut it here, and I said everywhere he has this black lining where these engraved details are, also in the feet here, which is very nice. And you can see a very nice, qualitatively high finish. Yeah, and those black lines are there to highlight them, those details even more and better, which is truly impressive. Paint job wise, there is really nothing to complain about. The only things I would complain about the coloring is that they used a bit too dark plastic for his real colored skin parts. I think this is a bit too dark. It would have been nice if they used for those real skin parts a little bit lighter blue plastic. But it is almost okay, I would say, and also not too dark to destroy the whole look, if you know what I mean. Another point to complain is the too red color they used for the eyes. I show you again, and yeah, I think it would be had been nice if they chosen some red brown instead of this too red color for his eyes. That's a bit too red for my taste, if you're considering his eye design in the anime especially. But on the other hand, this isn't this bad, because the original Bandai figures also have this bit, some of them also have this bit too red eye syndrome, especially on their Metal Garurumon. So for a design studio figure, I think this is also a bit okay. It's almost okay, because Bandai sometimes did not better, just short. Let us coming to the paint apps. As you have already seen, the crest symbol of Miracles is nicely printed on his crotch armor, and also the details which are molded on the left and the right of the crest symbol, also picked out in this silver, nice silver color like the crest symbol itself, which looks also very, very nice. Here we have another matching color accent, despite the overall only plated chrome. But this is also like they should have done this crest symbol. Yeah. And this crest symbol is also very clean printed. Like also those round details, like I said, on this section. And what I also like is that the lower leg sections are the same blue plastic, which fact is super. But I show you again what I mean. I think they done a really good job in implementing this in that way, because you can imagine that Magnamon's real skin leg parts shimmering through his armor at the section, and that they done this in blue. I think this is very awesome. Also a little detail, but that's awesome, I think. That they not done this in another color, but in his real skin color. The same plastic like they used for the real skin parts. That's really, really nice. Also, all of those different gold-plated colored armor parts have the same color tones, and there are no slightly differences in those gold-plated color tones on the different parts, which you usually have in general on figures. But here it seems everything is the same, which is also another great improvement and very impressive. I think also the same is true for the blue skin body parts in compared to Susannomon's color scheme, where we have those, yeah, let me say, big color differences on his armor, which should rather painted in the same way. As you can see, like I said it in the Susannomon video, his chest armor is nicely painted with this metallic wine red color, but the other armor parts, which should be also colored with the same color, are more like colored with bright red. And this, no, that isn't nice, because I think those parts, those red parts, should either be painted with this bright red everything, or with this metallic wine red, but not two reds. I think that was wrong, and so we can see on Magnamon a very nice improvement in view of that. Yeah, how I said, is also another one of a bunch of great improvements about which I will speak further here now, which they done for Magnamon in compared to Susannomon, and all the paint apps are there. They considered everything in this point of view. The figure got painted like you would wish it to be. That's simply true. And I also think if there was a Bandai Figure Arts Magnamon, we rather wouldn't got such a gold-plated version, color style for him. I don't think that. And as mentioned, all those engraved details on his gold-plated armor parts are highlighted with those black lines. All in all, the figure looks really magnificent. Magnamon magnificent? Little joke, by the way. And for the overall image, there is nothing to complain about. This so hard. And also, even that the eyes are a bit too red, they are nicely detailed, which I will show you again. I think I have to dim the light a bit so you can see this a bit better, because that armor is extremely blinding the camera. Yeah, but as you can see, the eyes are very nicely detailed when it comes to different colors. We have the base for the eyes is just black, or where the slit of the helmet is, this is black like it should be. We have white for the retina, we have a black pupil and the bit too red iris. And we even have such a little shiny white spot up there. Yeah, very nice done. When it comes to the coloring and detailing of the eyes, very nicely done. We even have do we have another spot there? No. It just blinded here. It blinded the camera. So, full lighting again. And from this point of view, a very nice detailing for the eyes, as I said, and nothing to complain about. He could be also made by Bandai Imaginations. So just from the optic impressions, or what do you think? It's really good. It's really nice. I can't say how much I love this figure and like they done this. I don't know, is it only through those chrome or this plated gold, but just look at it. And did they use matching colors and color tones? I think yes, and about this I talked already enough, but they used for the main part the right matching colors and color tones. How about the cleanness of the paint job, quality of the colors? I think also very well done. I think, and the quality of the colors is fine. But I heard from a YouTube member with who I was staying in contact over the whole production time that he sadly got a figure where the paint flakes off. So he wanted to send his figure back, but at this time I have no further detailed information about this and on which color version he has this issue. Because he bought both gold color versions, this is what I know. So I suggest he has this issue with the gold plated one, because for the plated colors this is familiar. Yeah, but I don't know how I said. But on my figure, gladfully everything is fine, and also the paint job is pretty clean. Like I said about Susannomon back then. Yeah, they painted over on some sections here as well, but for the gold-plated armor parts, it looks very clean. The painted over sections are those sections where they use this other gold metallic color. And this I doesn't show it you. When it comes to the point, as I said, there are no big color differences on the different parts. Yeah, we have some, but they done this on purpose. And this is his skirt, where those side skirt armor parts are mounted. And we also have such a metallic gold color section on his feet. This middle section is also such a different gold metallic color, and I think that isn't bad. I don't know why they done this, but I think this is also the color how the normal gold metallic version looks. I think that's what they used for coloring this. How I said, when I get this I will show you this as well, but I think that doesn't look bad for those sections and don't destroy the overall outstanding image. And to have some color accents is nice, I think. Yeah. So, how I said, I also praised highly the paint job on Susannomon back then in view of the whole coloring and a bunch of different paint apps they give him for all his nice details on the armor. And what I said about Susannomon's paint job is also true for Magnamon's paint job. But on Magnamon, some of those paint apps are seeming even a bit cleaner executed than it is on Susannomon. Some of those paint apps are seeming even a bit cleaner executed than it is on Susannomon, especially on those black lines for those engraved details are surprisingly very clean executed and not painted over at those sections. So the cleanness of the paint job is slightly and halfway better than on Susannomon, and at least the same satisfying, like I said about Susannomon's paint job. Just to prove this, look at those black lines, very, very clean. how I said, on the painted, different painted gold here, they painted a bit over. Yeah, they painted over on some sections, but yeah, that's it. Yeah. And how I said, it is done very much improvements in compared to Susanamon in this case, or in this point of view. And how I said, it's truly great. Now we're talking about the option ports, and like it is with an original Figure Arts figure, showed you already during the unboxing part, because I unboxed them. We have option hands to swap them for different poses. In total we got 3 pairs of hands with Magnamon. As you seen him the whole time, he was with his fist hands, and we have such more relieved open hands to choose. As you can see, and I also will swap the hands now, and just do that, because this is the review. I hope you brought some time with you. But this is very easy to do. And as you can see here, just we have a ball pack on the arm, and here we have a hole in the hand, and just put those two things together and we have attached the other hand. Very easy. On Susanomon's hands there was a other style. There was the ball pack was molded on the hand, and you put the ball pack into the arm. That they changed for Magnamon. I don't know which style is better, but both styles fulfill it intended function, so to speak. And here we have the fist hands, like I said, and we also have a pair of such more dinosaur post-like looking hands, which I will show you after. Now we take a look at him with the other hands on. A quick look. And I have to add, the paint job for the hand claws is overall not so nice and not so clean executed, because I think they not done paint those claws this cleanly. There are sections on the claws, they seem like not painted, or the color doesn't cover it well. And it looks like you have painted them themselves, but only put on one paint layer. There are some sections like here where, yeah, you can call it a bit of a sloppy paint job. halfway sloppy executed, halfway it doesn't cover it so well. Yeah, and the color of the claws also is a bit of a, yeah, what is it? White silver, which I think is not so matching, because I would prefer to do to have the hand claws colored like, yeah, matte white, but they are not extremely silver like on other figures. So this white silver almost fits. It's not the end of the day, so to speak. Yeah, and these are just the compromises you have to deal with such design studio figures in view of the cleanness of the paint job and how is the quality of the used materials in general. And I have to say, it seems and is very lightweighted. The figure is very lightweighted. I think you've seen this already in the unboxing. I think there are also some details you can easily break, especially those spikes here on the helmet. They are not bendy made, they are very stiff. Especially those spikes, like I said, on the helmet, those are very thin and you should be the hell careful with them already during unboxing and stuff. They feel like if they would be a bit bendy, but they are actually not, like I said. I think if he tips over and would fall on one of those spikes, they will break. At least the tips of those details will break, I can imagine. Seeming that those sections are made from resin. In the item's description, I think they noted some mixed materials like plastic and resin, but I don't know exactly if this is true. But there are also body parts which are even made from some softer, more bendy plastic, like Unreal figure arts. And this is, for example, the tail is a bit bendy, as you can see, and also his ears are made from the same softer plastic, or horns, or whatever you would call them on Magnamon, or Vemon's evolution forms, or that horns. Yeah, he looks heavy through this plated gold look, but he isn't heavy. He's actually very lightweighted, like I said. And the plastic they used for those gold-plated armor parts seems a bit filigree, a bit more simple, and in quotation marks, feels a bit cheap. In quotation marks. Than it would be on a real Bandai figure arts figure of him. I think you can notice that a bit. It kind of feels a bit like on such four more typical real bad knockoff figures, but also only slightly. And not too bad, so don't get me wrong, but it slightly feels a bit like that. Well, it is what it is. It isn't non-Bandai product or not a Bandai figure arts figure. And those figures are intended to be for collectors and are not toys for kids, hence to play around with them. Yeah. Let us get into the articulation, and there, hold on tight people, because Magnamon has got a lot of improvements on the joints compared to Susanomon. Yeah, and the biggest issue on Susanomon was that he got no hinged ball joints for the thighs. He only got those rotation joints as I described in his video, and this was a bad choice because so he is forced to stand always like in this one pose, and you can't get some cooler, dangerous fighting poses with that. That's a issue they changed and improved for Magnamon. But I show you the articulation, and we starting with the head, I think. The head, I think everything is on such a ball pack, like on the hip. Do you see that? And yeah, those simpler joints are such ball packs, so he can look a bit down and up. He can look to the sides. Also, like you already have seen, the hip is turnable. He can turn his hip. Even through that ball pack, he can a bit swing around his upper body. I don't want to show you, but I think also here on the section at the chest armor, it is also turnable a bit. The arms can, with the whole armor assembly, can do the full 360. He has ball hinge joints for the shoulder. You even can move the armor individually from the shoulder joint a bit up and down. Do you see that? Yeah. We have a swivel at the biceps. We have kinda double jointed elbows. Slightly double jointed, I think. Yeah, and with this hinge he can also do poses like that. And that was another issue about Susanomon. He couldn't get his arms. He had those hinge joints, those hinged balls for the shoulders as well, but the upper armor couldn't be raised upwards. So this joint on Susanomon was just a bit senseless. Yeah, you can see this. And also you can also move away the side skirt armor a bit, because they are connected to a ball as well. Do you see it? So you can move them, those armor ports, up and down like this. That's great, so they don't getting in the way for poses with the legs. And you also yeah, you can move the hands in all directions on this pack like I showed you. Maybe the neck itself should be rotatable as well, but it is really stiff and I don't want to break anything here. And how I said, the biggest improvements went into the lower body sections, into the legs, because Susannemon, yeah, had no ball jointed hinged ball joints for the thighs, but Magnamon can do these side kicks, so you can get nice fighting poses with that additional improved fight joints. He also has an upper thigh cut. He has yeah, joints for the knees, also kinda double jointed, but not four. But I think that is enough. And another big improvement we have for the feet. Not only we have this ball pack where you can move the feet in all directions. I said, because I think it cut it here, you can get some ankle tiltage with this ball pack, quite far. And we even have a hinge here, like it is on the original DG-Mazing. You can get quite far movements with those joints, which is another great improvement in compared to Susannemon. And as you can see, he can do this. He can spread his legs very far, so you can get some cool poses out of that. Because of this nicely improved bunch of additional joints they give in Magnamon. And this is in fact which makes Magnamon to 100% better than and extreme improved in compared to their first figure of Susannemon. So I think you can see yourself this insane, awesome and unexpected improvement in compared to Susannemon. And so you can get some cool fighting poses, as I showed you, with that awesome Magnamon figure, which Susannemon was unable to do. And this gives you again figure arts vibes and comes very, very close to one. And yeah, I also want to show you him with this other hand pair. Swapping the hands again. To show you them as well. Those gloves were, by the way, within the package. And I also advise you to use them if you get a figure, to have no fingerprints on the nice gold plated armor here. That isn't good. That's why I wearing those clothes. Yeah, and how I said, you can get some nice poses. And I also forgot to tell you about that you also can turn the feet on this ball pack. This is very logical, but I forgot to tell you that The tail is also on a pack hinge ball joint, so you can get very much movement out of those joints, which is quite nice as well. So we have a cool fighting pose here. Yeah, so now we have him with this dinosaur-like posed hands. Kinda. I will also have added some photos with the figure in some cool different fighting poses right after the main part. Here after. But the amount of additional joints they gave Magnamon in compared to Susanomon is really impressive. What about the tightness of the joints? They are also tighter. So they also improved the tightness of the joints in compared to Susanomon. Yeah, I think he has decent tight joints. And what would not have been so natural for Bandai to make and put in such immense improvements for the second figure compared to the first one. So this is truly and highly creditable for this DG-Mazing Design Studio for doing so. So heads off, I think. They really done their homework in view of Susanomon's issues, because tight joints on Susanomon are rather a foreign word. And I will demonstrate this also, because Susanomon had really loose joints, especially this arm joint, shoulder joint. This arm is very loose here on Susanomon, and yeah. Can you see that? So again, this is more stable here on Magnamon. He has definitely tighter joints, because here you need much more power to change the pose. Yeah, also showed you that. But because Magnamon joints have a good and decent tightness, as I said, is this a big improvement in compared to Susanomon. And so is the balancing. It is also better, also due to the tighter and first of it all the amount of additional important joints. You can get a better balancing than with Susanomon. Even that Magnamon is this lightweighted and also seems to be a bit top heavy, you can compensate this with this great additional and decent tight joints. I kinda messed it up to show you that right during the unboxing, because I doesn't expected the figure to be so lightweighted, and I got my problems to get him just standing in that pose in which he came packed for the certain moment. So I wanted to show this again better here in this review, not to tell you something wrong about, and kinda want to correct my own failure from the unboxing. Also, Susanomon isn't this lightweighted for the first seconds. He seemed better balanced than Magnamon during the unboxing. But if you try out some things and do it right, it is actually the other way around, and Magnamon has for sure the better balance if you use the joints right. Price performance is therefore justified and reasonable in my opinion. Well, I also have to admit that on some sections on those gold-plated armor parts. The molding quality isn't that clean and you can notice some issues here and there, but it is still okay. I think the overall image and impressions the figure gives me can compensate such little issues to 100%. Pre-ordered mine for about almost 126 US dollars or 104.27 euros. At the time of this video, I shot this video, gold plated version almost was about 150 and the normal gold metallic version and the dark version was almost circa about 140 US dollars. Also price wise there are some differences because Susanomon was much more expensive. Well, Susanomon is also bigger and they had to mold more details on his armor and therefore needed more paint apps for those details than in contrary they had to do on Magnamon because of the different character designs, and for Magnamon because his armor is a bit simpler in the design and they also needed like only 2 main colors in compared to Susanomon, so maybe this is a reason for the quite 4 price differences between the two. But if you're considering all those improvements they put into their new Magnamon, I think they could have sold Magnamon for more, or at least for nearly the same price like they sold Susanomon back then. So I think the price they offered for Magnamon is really justified and a good price for such an outstanding figure. By recommendation to 100% yes, so this I can make short. Go and get him if he is still available. It is truly an awesome figure of Magnamon which never exists in this form before, and as I said, the best Magnamon figure so far. Now we're doing some compares at this point, and we're starting with DG-Mazing Magnamon, the DG-Mazing toy figure from back then. Well, I always thought this was the best figure proportion wise you could get of Magnamon. Well, there was this model kit which is quite rare, I showed you in the last videos, but yeah, I think for thinking that the time is over now, because you see it yourself, this is 100% better in every way than this old DG-Mazing toy, and this is the one I gave this custom tail because the figure don't had a tail, and here we are again at a little issue because as I made this tail for this figure I thought I made it a bit too big and too long, but yeah, I think the difference is quite obvious here, and I think that should be more this should be more the style for this Magnamon. Still think the tail isn't right proportioned to the rest, but yeah. Also considering that this DG-Mazing Magnamon is a bit more bulkier because it was a DG-Mazing toy. Yeah. And at next I show you the action feature Magnamon figure, just to see how those are looking together. This is not the action feature figure, but it's a kinda of this mold because it was the special movie pack with those other 3 figures I got from Toys R Us back then. Yeah, just to see how this Magnamon looks together with the super nice Magnamon now. Also here again the tail. So, then I have a little model kit to compare, which I showed you in some former videos before, and he lost his horns or ears. That's not nice. And this is actually a bit of smaller model kit, because those had the style, they had the metal body and the other parts were just unpainted plastics. Everything I painted on him. I customized this to the full, and all body parts and armor parts which are not made of this golden metal body would have looked like that. That was the original look of this Magnamon. So you can see how much I changed everything on him. Yeah, and this is the box. This is not the box of the Magnamon figure, it's the box of the Pegasmon figure, but I don't found Magnamon's box, but you can see what I mean. Also, this box, just to see how they are looking together, but I think this is quite rare. And I also want to show you, because that are all Magnmon's Armor Evolutions, the two model kits, which I also showed you in some previous video before, just to see how they are looking together. Also show you with some of the Tamashi, original Tamashi line, the arts Wargreymon Original Designers Edition, and also size-wise, the Magnamon is slightly bigger than the original the arts size was, considering they have splitted the legs the same way. He is smaller, so they actually copied the style of Bandai for those smaller characters, and Susanumon was bigger because he is a more bigger character, like also the figure arts line did with the bigger characters. They done them bigger, like here bringing in the Imperial Dramon Fighter Mode, SH Figure Arts, Bandai Imaginations figure here. As you can see, the bigger characters, they done bigger, like also the design studio did, and how I said the size matches to Magnamon. Also he is a bit smaller than Susanumon, but I think that all matches very nice. Yeah! Want to show you Susanumon's box in compare quick, because here we have some differences between Magnamon's box. Of course, here we have the Frontier logo printed on, and the names were only in Chinese and Japanese, I think. And also the style of packaging is a bit different. And here we had this foam material with this foil lid, and here we had a more figure art style packaging style with those foil blister and the background, the colored background cardboard piece, which we don't have for Magnamon. Just want to show you that quick. In any case, this Magnamon figure attracts a lot of attention, I think. I also hope that DG-Mazing releases much more figures of Digimon characters we never got before. And in this form, I know a Figure Arts Magnamon was always high in those fan polls, but never made it into a real figure. And Bandai doesn't care so much about the fan wishes, so it was up to a design studio to make one and gave us a Magnamon KO Figure Arts. And I made it, with no doubts. Like I said before, get him for your own collection. Because, again, we do a quick close up here with the figure. To witness all of those nice details again a bit before we ending this review, and also during that close up showing, I want to thank you for your attention, for who of you are stayed here until yet. I know it was much information, but I also want to say this for the first Magnamon figure review, and there was much to tell about, I think, which was interesting. I hope so. So I hope you liked the video a bit. If so, you can totally hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, thanks for watching. And until the next figure review, this was my review about DG-Mazing Studios Magnamon. And yeah, goodbye my people, your Mega 88 1000.